Welcome to Confessions of a Wannabe It Girl. I'm your host, Marley Freygang, and I'm here to help you filter out all the bullshit and become the next It Girl. This podcast explores the reality of what it really takes to make it out there. As it turns out, it is way less Instagrammable than I thought it was going to be. I'm still very much a work in progress, but there's simply nothing else I'd rather be doing than chasing my dreams. So let's learn from my mistakes and work together to achieve our dreams with more confidence, clarity, and direction. Let's get after it. Hi guys, and welcome back to Confessions of a Wannabe It Girl. Today I am sitting with Heather Kelly, a professional dancer who has appeared alongside Katy Perry, Tyga, in various commercials, music videos. She is also the designer and owner of Los Angeles Cowgirl. Welcome, Heather.
Thank you for having me.
Ooh, I'm so excited to dive in. I want to talk about the world of dance, being a business owner, all the things. So you're a busy girl.
Yes, I'm very busy.
How the hell do you manage this all?
I honestly thrive on being busy. I almost feel like when I have less to do, I take more time doing it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So, I mean, now for auditions, so many of them are virtual, so I can just film them in my apartment. And I work from home for my business as well, so I can do everything from home. And then when I do book a gig, I just drive to it that day or two. So it's pretty manageable. But yeah, I stay.
Was it always so manageable? Was it so
Um,
crazy? I mean, also when you do virtual auditions,
Yeah.
I have no idea. Do they send you the choreography, or is it like for commercials? I know sometimes they'll just be like, do the action. Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, they'll send you what to do in the audition and the
Mhm.
casting, and you just film it. You do a slate. If it's dance, they're like,
Mhm.
show us your best moves, or it's something like specific. I have been getting a little bit more into acting, so I'll have to read lines sometimes. And a lot of my auditions are roller skating as
Beautiful.
well, so I have to go outside to film those.
Yeah.
I have done a couple in my apartment, but it is a little bit more challenging because then I have to find a friend who's also free because
Mhm.
with skating, I'm moving around a lot and it's hard to be on a tripod.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone needs to track it and
Yeah.
whatnot. So, you're very established now, like having a business and being this professional performer, skater, dancer, acting as well. Like, how long did it take for you to feel like you had kind of figured out the groove of doing this performance life in Los Angeles?
Yes. I would say it took at least 4 years.
Mm.
If I'm being honest, I felt good after 3, but I still wasn't where I want to be. I'm still
We're never all where we want to be.
Yeah, I know. I still want to keep obviously getting better and better. And
100%.
but yeah, it took about I guess 3 years before COVID was really when I was hitting that sweet spot, and then
Mhm.
COVID happened, and then everyone was just reevaluating their life. But once 2021 hit again, that's when I started roller skating. And it was such a weird, niche thing that became super trendy
Mm.
and is the reason I booked my best jobs that year. And I was literally on a roll.
Literally on a roll.
But yeah, the skating, having a special skill really helped. And it always does go along with dancing because they want someone who's comfortable in front of the camera and can also move.
Yeah.
So I'd say 2021 is really when I felt like I was accomplishing a lot of my goals in my dance career and I guess skating career. But yeah, I moved to LA in September of 2017.
And grew up dancing, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been dancing since I was 3 years old.
Mhm.
And I went to college for dance as well at Chapman University. And I got my BFA in dance performance there. So I've been dancing forever.
So when you graduated, did you feel like you knew where you were going with dance career? Like what did the day-to-day look like? Were you taking class every day? I feel like networking in the entertainment industry plays a huge role. Like what was
Yes.
going on?
So I think right out of college, I just assumed I'd be booking a bunch of dance jobs right away because growing up, I always was the girl who was winning the dance competitions, always getting chosen for pieces in college. It was never a question that I didn't have talent. But
Mhm.
when you come to LA, it's not honestly about your talent, it's about your look. You have to be talented, but
It's like the bare minimum
Yeah,
here.
no, like actually the bare minimum. Like I can't. There's not many jobs where I've actually used my full capability. Which is
Wow.
like sad to say.
Yeah, but it's real.
Yeah. So yeah, it was hard. The very first year, I had auditions like every week, and I went to like every open call.
Mhm.
Which now I do not go to the open calls. It's like usually a waste of time because
Sure.
they already know who they're gonna pick, and
Yeah,
then
they have a
you're
network too.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you're just there for hours. But I did that every week. I probably went to 5 auditions a week. I was taking class every day. I didn't have a job for like 6 months because I didn't know how to like manage my time with auditions
Mhm.
and like having a job. So I just
Well,
didn't.
it's like anxiety because you're
Yeah.
like, I mean, I only know this from the acting side. Like, it just pops up.
Yeah.
So you're like, how can I have a job? Because I don't want to say no to opportunities.
Right.
But at the same time, you're like, wait, what do I do?
Yeah.
You can feel really lost.
Yeah, so I definitely felt super lost. Yeah, I didn't really have like a mentor, someone to like direct me at that time. But I did start going to One Heels class like very consistently with Bryn Nicole. Her class is called Pumpidence. And that's where I kind of found like my dance home in
Mm.
LA and connected with a lot of amazing girls. Bryn's an amazing mentor. And it kind of like gave me that accountability to show up every week and train, like no matter
Mhm.
what. And yeah, I feel like once you kind of get a routine and a schedule, you start to build a life. And then I was able to get like a part-time job, which I was a stylist at a clothing store,
Love.
which I guess was the start of my whole.
It all fits.
Yeah, it's like it's funny. So, yeah, everything makes sense now, but back then, oh my gosh, like working in retail was like so
Yeah,
it,
it's so sucking.
yeah, it's soul sucking. Um, but I did learn a lot of things that I use now, like for my business that I'm like, wow, thank God something came in handy because
Right.
that was long hours to just sit in a store. It was fun, like styling people, but
Mhm.
most of the day you're not doing that 24/7.
Right. It's a lot of hanging clothes back up and
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
things around and box. Yeah, I know the grind of
Yeah.
having a soul sucking job.
Yeah.
And and the hustle of like doing 8 million things in LA, which like
Yeah.
so many of us
Yeah.
do. So do you remember booking your first job? What was it? What's the story?
Yes.
Tell us the feelings. We love the emotions.
Okay, yes. I'm pretty sure I cried after
Oh,
I probably did.
yeah.
I was so excited. It was for a music video, and before the audition, the choreographer that was hosting the audition was messaging me on Instagram.
So you had a good base.
So, I had a good feeling,
Mhm.
and I was right.
Yeah, it worked
Because I
out.
guess why else would they be like, "You should come to this audition I'm having." So,
Yeah.
I already had that, and maybe that confidence gave me a better audition,
Mm.
because auditioning's hard going to, like, 5 a week and just constantly being told no is
Yeah.
pretty rough. So, I think maybe having that confidence going into it helped me, and yeah, that was the first job I ever booked. It was, like, a 12-hour shoot day. My body was, like, fully rhinestoned and
Ooh,
glitter,
beautiful.
which, if you know me, that's what I love. Yeah, it was a great experience, and, like, the assistant choreographer on the job, she has, like, booked me on several other jobs, like, throughout my career, so it was a really good start.
Did you call your agent or anything like that? Did you have an agent at the time?
I did have an agent. I got an agent, even before I graduated college, so I auditioned for MTA before I
Mhm.
graduated, so I was, like, all set and ready to go.
Beautiful.
I probably emailed and told them.
Mhm.
I don't think I wasn't close to them in the beginning, so I probably didn't call, but I definitely, like, told them what I was doing, and they were excited.
And we love that.
Yeah.
See, keeping it in the network. I want to go back to
Yeah.
something you said because
Yeah.
I feel like it's super important to talk about when we
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about performance careers and the
Yeah.
confidence when you hear
Yeah.
no and no and no and sometimes you don't even hear no. It's just it's a
Yeah.
no and you don't even hear anything. Like how did you not let that affect your performance, your confidence, your drive to keep going?
So, growing up, I've always had a lot of confidence just in general, and that probably did come from being good at dance when, like,
I also think dance generally,
you
like if
like
you're
yeah.
who doesn't feel good
Yeah,
moving their
yeah,
body?
yeah,
It
no.
starts to become part of you.
Yeah, it does. It becomes part of you. And when you become like good at a sport at a young age, it just automatically like
Mm.
elevates your confidence. And I was always dancing with like girls 4 years older than me. So it made me more mature, more confident. And I did go through a lot growing up, like with dance competitions and stuff, and not always like being first place. And that just also helped build the confidence over and over. And I like the challenge of being the best. So I think being told no or you're not good enough, I wasn't like sad. I was always like, I'm going to do better and I'm going to be better and you're going to see. So when it comes to auditions now, like a million years later, I guess I know it's not personal when I'm being told no. Like it's for like actual like commercials and like all these things where people have to be like an exact height
Mhm.
or like skin color, hair color.
Right, your roots could be the wrong
Yeah,
color.
yeah,
Right.
like it's so particular that I couldn't be like down on myself. I'm just not the right fit for the job. And
It sounds like you've had a
yeah,
really healthy, like, mentality around that because I think just being, like, accepting it for the way it is and not
yeah,
being like, "This is personal to me." It's a
yeah,
really tricky line because, being in an art form is a personal industry. It's
yeah,
subjective, look plays a big part into it, and it's very impressive that you've always managed to stay confident in it because I think that's
yeah.
if you lose that, you become miserable.
What would more make me upset is like how much time and energy you put into
Mhm.
it and not seeing a result for like a long time. It's just like such
Yeah.
wear and tear.
Well,
But
let's talk about
yeah.
the physical tear. I mean,
Oh
you've
yeah.
been dancing since
Hmm.
you were what, 2, 3?
Yeah, since I
Yeah.
was 3.
How do you, not only mentally stay
Yeah.
resilient, how do you physically, keep up with the demands? The industry's
Yeah.
always training. I swear there's always some new crazy jump to your knee, fall on your back, and turn around and do a
Yeah.
somersault. Like, how the hell do you keep up with that?
Yeah, so I try to stretch every single day. I work out a lot just to like stay in shape.
Hmm.
And yeah, I do have like neck problems on this side, but as
Hmm.
long as I warm up enough before I dance, I'm usually fine. And I haven't been going to the chiropractor recently, but there was a time I was like going like twice a week for a year
Hmm.
just to like fix my neck. So if it starts to get bad again, I'll just go back consistently.
So,
Uh,
like, yeah, you have a routine, you have a rhythm
yeah,
now with like your
yeah,
care and whatnot. Do
yeah.
you feel as though your training growing up and through college, like the physical dance part, did you
Uh-huh.
feel well prepared to be in this industry? Because living in LA is like the creme de la creme of commercial dance.
I was over prepared. LA is not what it seemed like it was going to be
Hmm.
for dance at least. I just think every job I've been on has been easier than I thought it would be. And maybe it is just the types of jobs I book, right? Like I'm booked mostly off of my looks.
Hmm.
And I don't know, even if it's like a cheerleading job, like they're not having me do a roundup back tuck.
Yeah, but you
They're
could.
like, yeah, yeah, I could, I
That's
could
the
do that.
point.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
guess that's true. Yeah, I could do that. So that's probably why they do book me as well. But I,
I'm sure it helps,
yeah,
but I do think that's a very interesting thing because, like, dance
hmm
in particular, I can see how I've never thought about this. But hearing you
hmm
say it, I'm like, wow, you probably are so over prepared to do the same, like, what, 8 count over
yeah,
and over again if you get to physically move or
right,
if you're just standing there.
yeah,
But this career comes in a lot of waves. And I would
hmm
say, like, what did you start to do to fill the time maybe through COVID when it was going, industry went down, but you have to keep dancing
yeah.
and you want to stay in the world. What do you do when you're not working?
So I love doing passion projects,
Ooh,
and
we love a hobbyist.
yeah.
Like,
I just love like directing and coming up with my own concepts for like dance videos and
mhm.
just like the styling, the theme, and it's so fun for me. So a lot of the videos I have done have almost manifested like dream jobs for me. Um, there was one I did, oh, I would say the Malibu one, but I'm super girly and like pink, and a lot of the videos are just like me and like pink rhinestones dancing, like,
Love.
you know. And I was roller skating and dancing in the one video, and I'm the main character for like all my videos. The
Duh.
main.
If you're putting in the work, you might as well highlight yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So after that video, I ended up booking a music video where I was like the lead love interest, and I got to roller skate and dance in a pink rhinestone bra with like, it was 80s disco, which is like my favorite era theme, whatever. And they had me holding a mic, and I got to sing the whole song because the artists are DJs, so they don't.
Oh, this is the Two Friends one.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
The music video is really good. Before guests come on, I like to watch their stuff.
Okay.
So I was like something's right. Yeah, the Two Friends. So you got to sing the whole thing.
Yeah,
too.
it was so fun. And
were they there? I always am curious.
Oh yeah, they were there.
Love.
Yeah, they were cool. They were pretty quiet. They didn't say too much. But yeah, no, it was awesome because it's very rare in the dance industry where like you're the main character, because it's usually about the artist or like the company you're doing a commercial for.
Right.
So
that's the product is not usually the dancers, but that's cool that this was.
Yeah, so that's why I loved that job so much. And just so creating my own like dance concept videos, I think it is a part of manifestation for me and like getting the roles that I want. So
I think you really know yourself and you know your type and
Yeah.
you know what you do well. And like,
Yeah.
I mean, it would be hard for me to picture you in like a goth, not saying you can't do it, but like, I don't see like a gothic girl for you.
No, it's funny that, so as I was like putting together my dance reel like the other year, like 90% of my jobs were 70s or 80s themed. Like I'm very in that era.
Do you also like that era? Like,
I do love that
see,
era.
it all fits.
It does fit. But I'm like, what about 2023?
Like, what's that? Right.
Yeah.
What does that look like on me? Maybe we should try it.
Yeah.
Love that. You made this Instagram post where you were talking about dance class. And I thought it was very interesting because, you know, you talked about, well, you also talked about something that is not even applicable anymore. And that was that, you know, you used to have to go to dance class when you were sick and like stand and watch. And now in a post-COVID world, people are like, no, if you're not feeling well, stay home. But no, I totally agree. Sports, theater, dance, it is like used to be you had to be there and watch. And you talked about how you've now gotten to a place where you know, you work in this space, you're a professional and now you get to experience class for yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I think that's so hard when something is your passion, but also your career.
For as long as I can remember, I always had a schedule, always had to go to class. Like there wasn't an option of me like missing. So now like as an adult, you're accountable for everything you do, and going to class because you just solely want to and you want to train and get better and stay in shape is just like, it's the best feeling ever because there's zero pressure. Like you're only there for yourself. Like you don't have to be there. Like literally no one's forcing you. And since it's not as often, I wish I still went to dance class every
You've also
day.
earned it a little.
It's like I am running a business. It takes up a lot of time. But like when I do go to class, I am like so present in the moment. And I remember why like I love to dance and like why I'm actually there versus like when you're forced to go, like you can just have all these like outer thoughts while you're taking class and like not even be there while you're there. So yeah, that's why I love it now. And you just like get lost in the music. It's almost like I like fall in love with it every time
I love class.
Yeah.
Well, I want to sidestep and talk about your other love, which is your business that you're running. Let's talk about Los Angeles Cowgirl.
Yes.
So you had this stylist thing going for you. And how did it all start to emerge? You're working as a professional dancer. You have this background. What happened?
So this is actually started with one of my other like passion project videos. So
she just circles herself into everything.
I love circling.
We love it.
So
we loved an aligned girly.
I was making this rhinestone cowboy hat because I wanted to do like a sexy country video.
Beautiful.
And once I finished making it, I Snapchatted it to like a couple of my friends because it was so pretty. And my one friend was getting married soon and we were going to Nashville for her bachelorette. So she's like, oh my gosh, like I need this like for my bachelorette. So I ended up just gifting it to her and I didn't do my video yet. So we go to Nashville and she's like wearing the hat and people were going like crazy over it and like taking my number down. I was like, oh wow, I wasn't like expecting this. So yeah, my friends were like, you should sell these. Like, you need to sell these. I'm like, oh, like we'll see. Cause
Yeah.
I've always been an arts and crafts girl. Like I've made a lot of things just like for fun.
I feel like that comes out of competitive dance
Yeah.
too. There's like a very close
Yeah.
catty corner there.
No, yeah. And I went through like a whole mermaid era too and made like mermaid crowns. And
Mhm.
I put those on Etsy and like never sold one. So I don't know.
Hey, we need the experience.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, we'll see. And then like 2 months later, I realized I never made my video. So I was like, I have to make another hat for myself
Yep.
so I can make my video. And that's when I decided to put it on Etsy, like just to see.
Mhm.
And in my first month, I sold 50 hats. And I was like, wait, this is so random. And I don't know. I was like, it was weird. And I guess it was just like the divine timing of like the cowgirl trend was just starting.
Right.
Like, it was like the very beginning of it. And I was the first person, or I guess one of the first people to do the hats.
Mhm.
And yeah, I sold 50 my first month. And
Wow.
yeah, that's when I decided I was going to make it a business because
You got the
I was
callings
like,
there.
yeah. So
So now what does your day-to-day look like with Los Angeles Cowgirl? Like, do you
Yeah.
wake up and like instantly have to make hats and t-shirts or whatnot? Like, how do you get
Yeah.
a business off the ground like that?
Yeah, so in the morning, I like to like answer emails and then drink. I love my coffee time.
Beautiful.
I'm such like a coffee
Me
girl. I
too.
have to have like an hour where I'm like just sipping my coffee and like no,
Agreed.
like yeah.
You have to wake up, you have to let your eyes see the sun. Totally.
Yeah. So I'll do emails. I start working on orders and like while they're drying, I'm a very big multitasker.
Yeah,
so,
same. I love to multitask.
Yeah.
I've been told it's not good for you, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't function without multitasking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, while they're like drying, I'll like do other things in my apartment that I have to get done and or film an audition. And yeah, since I work from home, it's like pretty easy. I do have to go downtown a lot when I need more supplies. So I'll like go downtown LA. But yeah, besides for making the hats, answering emails, post office, um, it's pretty well, it depends on the week.
Right.
Like it goes up and down.
I'm
a
sure
lot.
Halloween is like kind of crazy.
Yeah, Halloween's usually crazy. Beyonce concert was crazy.
That tracks. Yep.
Yeah, people and it's I like know my like audience.
Yeah.
So they're like girls like me who are like, I need a rhinestone hat like tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
Beyonce's here. And so I'll get messages like people blowing me up and it's so funny. They're like, girlie, I need this. Like I die for this. I need this tomorrow. Like, can you ship it overnight? And I'm like, okay.
But you do?
So I don't know why I would like stress myself out. I'm not doing that anymore. No, I really don't know why I would like. But they're just like
You feel for them.
I feel for them because I would do that.
I am this girl. I understand.
I was like, she needs the hat for the concert. Like I have to get it to her. But yeah, no, the overnight thing, not doing it anymore because it's stressful. And then I can't control like the post office. So
Right.
when it doesn't get there in time, these girls are like, where's my hat? I'm like, I'm not
I'm trying.
USPS. Like, but yeah, it goes in waves. Sometimes I do need help. I need to ask for it. I've always been like this my whole life. I like to do everything myself.
You have control.
Yeah. And I'm a perfectionist, but yeah, when times get like when it is busier, I will get help from like the few people I trust.
Right.
But yeah, it's been pretty manageable. This week has been slow, which has been nice because I just moved apartments and it was, of course, the week that sales were the craziest.
Because that's just how the universe works.
And so now I am taking like a week to chill and it's been really nice.
I love that. Let's talk about when you want to add like a new piece. I know you have some clothing too and whatnot. Like, what does that look like? Do you sit there with a sketchbook and kind of sketch it out? Do you just kind of make it and then we're like, I got to make these again? Like, what's your process for designing?
What is my process? I haven't even thought about my own process. I think I just
That's great.
Yeah, I'm like, what is it? I do get inspired a lot when I go like to my supply store downtown. It's just like a store full of rhinestones and
Beautiful.
Nothing I love more than rhinestones. So I'll just like see pieces in the store and I think like, how can I put these on a hat in a different way? And there's only so many ways like you can make a hat, right?
Right, we can't reinvent the wheel completely.
Yeah. There's only so many things you can do with like rhinestones and hats. But I do think at the end of the day, why it has been so successful, like my favorite part is doing like the photo shoots and like styling the outfits. And that's what makes people want them, like seeing them on other people and how they look with the outfits really like sells the products. So
I also think what
yeah.
sells the products is kind of, this is so in line with you. Like, it's not
Yeah.
like you're trying to sell us like crickets, lollipops. Like, I'd be like, why is this cute girl trying to sell me a cricket lollipop? Like, it's so in line.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and obviously if it's in line with you, the content looks, the buzzword, authentic and whatnot. And like, I think that creates trust. Like, I believe it. Like, I believe it's so you. I believe this is so in line.
It is. You know, it's funny, before I started the business too, I mean, I've always loved country, but like a whole year before, I started doing videos with cowboy hats. Like, I don't know why.
There was a big shift in like modern pop culture towards like now cowboy boots is like part of Coachella. Like that was not a thing 2014.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got really into like the cowgirl thing, and yeah, I know, it's so interesting.
Being a professional dancer and business owner can be a lot, and you do have to put yourself out there a lot all the time. Do you ever get insecure about what people might think in the beginning? How did you get over that? If so, all the goodies.
Okay. I feel like this is gonna sound
No, if
bad.
it's the truth, it's the truth.
I've never been insecure about anything.
I love.
And I was thinking about this question on the way here, and I'm like, why have I? Because friends have asked me this before, like this question.
Yeah.
And I genuinely like don't care what people think. And I think that also comes with most people when they meet me, like I'm very myself right away to girls, maybe not to guys I'm going on dates with because there's a wall.
Well, yeah, that's different. That's a whole different thing. Yeah.
I've always been like very like undeniably myself. And yeah, even like strangers that meet me, like in a couple hours, they'll be like, oh, that's just so Heather. I'm like, you just met me. But I guess I'm just that type of person.
Yeah.
And so everything like I do and I post, like I never feel weird about it because I think people expect me to be like that.
Yeah, I feel like you're not lying.
Yeah, like they're not shocked. And like even like growing up in high school, like I didn't dress like a typical Michigan girl. Like I always loved being a little outrageous sometimes. And like guys like would make fun of me and I never cared. It's like I look good. Like
you're like, whatever.
I'm gonna wear what I want. And I think that, yeah, I just have been so comfortable to always be myself. Like my parents have always told me to go after my dreams. They were so supportive, like told me I could be and do whatever I want to do. And my friends were always, they never critiqued me. Like I never had friends like, oh, you shouldn't wear that or you shouldn't post that. Like I've never had friends like that. So that probably helped too.
I love that. I feel like that's so rare. And like, I also feel like a lot of people, even if that's the truth, wouldn't just admit it because like
I know I felt kind of awkward being like I've never been insecure.
And that is horrible of us as a society to be like, you should be insecure about being yourself. Like that's awful. Like I'm actually appalled that like, you know, we have to assume that like particularly women like and some aren't okay with it being themselves. But I love that you've truly been yourself. And it's like it's worked.
Yeah.
You probably, you know what, you sleep at night really well knowing I didn't lie about who you are. You know, do you think you're living like, you know, the buzzword of like your best life, truest self, like you're a kick-ass dancer, you're so confident.
Thank you.
Like, do you just feel like this is exactly what you're meant to do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it is what I was meant to do. And I feel like with dance, I love it so much, but it was almost like I needed more. And when Los Angeles Cowgirl came, I had this whole other side of me, like creative side, that I could get out there because I do love fashion so much. And I get to be the main character for the first time. Like it's just my brand. Like I can do whatever I want. I'm not working for anyone else. And so, yes, I definitely think I'm living my truest self. I get to do what I love every day by literally just being myself. Like I'm my own brand. And a lot of people can't say that. So, and I guess the fact that I could start a business without having like a name and just like make money from cowboy hats is like I still can't comprehend it because it is pretty funny. I'm like, who's buying these? And like where are these customers coming from? I'm not like a celebrity, you know? Before Los Angeles Cowgirl started, like I'll never forget like my 26th birthday. I just had like there was something in me. I was like, this is gonna be the best year ever. And I was so happy. And at that time, I don't think I had a job. I think I had no job. I can't yeah, I didn't have a job. But I was like, this is gonna be great. And well, I was doing like entertainment gigs, but it wasn't like
Those are never steady.
yeah, it's not a steady.
Even when they are steady, that's a lie.
Yeah. So it wasn't steady. And I was just so happy. Like so happy. And yeah, then I started Los Angeles Cowgirl and like everything kind of just fell into place. And even though there has been like ups and downs and realizing that once you do own a business, like there's no one else to rely on. So if like the sales aren't coming in, like you're just not making money. Which, which is kind of a scary thing.
Yeah.
And what I think is more funny about that is I didn't realize that until like a year in. And I had like a slow week and I was like, oh, wait, I didn't like think about
Yeah, what happens?
what happens if it's
Right.
not doing well. Because I was like, I mean, being delusional is a good and bad thing. That's a whole nother probably podcast hour of
There's
talking.
there's such beauty in delusion. Ignorance is so bliss.
Yeah, I believe ignorance is bliss.
I also think some people should pretend that they don't know any difference and not admit it, because then we just all are more on top of it.
No, I've been probably delusional my whole life, people will probably say. But yeah, no, I was pretty delusional and I had a slow week and I was like, oh, wait, like, and at that time too, like that year was great. I had the Katy Perry commercial, which I just was like, had residuals from. So
beautiful.
It was a great year.
Yeah.
So even when like, if the hats were slow, I still had like the commercial checks, which was nice. But yeah, when you do just work for yourself as like an artist, actor, dancer, and like own a business, like there's never a guarantee that you're going to make money, which is, it was scary. So then I had that week where I didn't get any sales and I was like, oh no. So I'm like on my walk. I was like, I'm going to go on a walk because I was sad. And I put on a podcast. I listened to Joel Osteen a lot. He's like a Christian preacher. And it's just very like motivating. And I was like, okay, I can't get down. Like it's only been a week, first off. And I keep trying to remind myself, like when you're in that energy, you attract that energy. And like even when I started the business, I was at such like a high energy and that's what I ended up like getting. So whenever I do get like low sometimes, because it's like only natural, I just like try to remember that like not everything's going to be perfect 24/7. Like that's not realistic. That's not life. And just to enjoy the slow moments, because this week has been slow and like I would normally, like if this was a couple months or like a year ago, be like freaking out, but I know like God's got me, so I'm going to be fine. And you just keep believing in yourself. I do feel like I manifested everything I have in my life right now. And when sometimes you almost like, once you have something, you're like comfortable with it and you're like, oh, this is going great. But I have realized that you can't just like settle and be comfortable. You don't get better or like keep something you manifested if you just
stay stagnant.
Yeah, like you can't stay stagnant. You have to keep doing the things that got you to that place. So I've also been working on that because I was in like such a good place for a while. And then if it gets slow, I'm like, oh, like I just need to like stay focused. And I have realized the more I do just out of passion and like work hard. I mean, it's not a passion, but it's for my job and my business. I end up like attracting more money and like better opportunities. So the more you're grinding, you do just automatically attract more opportunities.
Yeah, what someone who like it's like I don't know what the exact law is. It's like a thing that's in motion
Yeah.
will stay in motion, and something that is stagnant
Oh
will
yeah. Is it like
not.
Newton?
Yeah, is it Newton? I don't know. I only know Murphy. So because I have a tattoo basically up for it. So like I only know Murphy well. But anyways, Heather Kelly, you are so wonderful. I'm so inspired by just how you are just so yourself and how all of your elements have just come together in this beautiful like range of a career. Can you
Thank
please
you.
tell everybody where they can find you, find Los Angeles Cowgirl, and all the things?
Oh, yes. So I'm on Instagram and TikTok under Heather _ and then it's Kelly, but the L's are ones because I thought that was cute.
We love
in like high school. And then Los Angeles Cowgirl, my website is losangelescowgirl.com and the Instagram is Los Angeles Cowgirl _
Beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Yes, thanks for having me. It's my first podcast.
She did so well.
Thank you so much for listening to Confessions of a Wannabe It Girl. Don't forget to rate and subscribe to the show. As always, we'll see you next Tuesday.